With the third alpha test of Versus concluded, I have some things to say. The balance changes that were made were overall really good. I was initially concerned that the buffs to the Warp Fire Thrower and nerfs to Warrior Priest were both too heavy-handed in the opposite directions, but in actuality they're perfect. Warp Fire Throwers are an actual threat that you need to deal with now and are way stronger across the board, but the trade-off is that they're no longer going to aim punch you, which makes them overall more consistent to kill. Warrior Priest, while still strong, is no longer oppressively strong and actually feels fair to play against now as he still offers some powerful utility to his team. The crossbow nerf, when paired alongside the handgun nerf, has reined in the ranged combat to a less frustrating degree. Ranged weapons are still potent up close, but getting suddenly one shot from across the map with zero counterplay has become much rarer. There are, as usual though, still some big issues that must be addressed. The Bile Troll is paper thin and dies way too fast, and when a coordinated team attacks, issues such as this occurs.
Yep.
Alright, I'm on my way.
Oh my god.
Holy shit!
Like I was saying.
The troll absolutely needs a health boost, but adding too much health will make the troll impossible to kill unless the other team has a boss killer, so finding a sweet spot here is important. There is still the massive issue of people being forced into random careers when they join the game. People absolutely need to be able to choose their preferred hero and loadout if they backfill a lobby, and I will keep repeating this until it's been added. The solo queue experience of Versus is already rough, and it does not need to be any rougher. The final issue is also the biggest. Against the Grain was not a fun map to play on either side due to how wildly the balance swung between heroes and Skaven. For most of the map, you are just walking in an incredibly open field, which makes it virtually impossible for the Skaven to meaningfully hinder the heroes. You can only really make use of a small handful of Skaven in these parts, namely gas rats, assassins, and ratlings, so if you end up rolling a hook rat or a warp fire thrower, it just feels awful knowing that you are most likely going to be useless and die instantly. At certain points though, like the 2 barns you have to rescue prisoners from right before the end bubble, the map then swings back in favor of the Skaven players to a massive degree. I absolutely have no problem with certain parts of the map benefiting one side more than the other, and there are more spaces in the map that favor Skaven than what I mentioned, but the imbalance between the amount of hero and Skaven-sided portions of the map are so incredibly massive and skewed in favor of the heroes that tweaks must be made. I'd love to see way more cover be added in the open fields to help Skaven close the distance easier and shift the balance away from the heroes, and while I would love to comment on the end event of the second map where you're supposed to rescue the prisoners, I didn't get to play it all that much due to my games almost always ending earlier than that, so other than what I've already mentioned, I can't really comment on it. This alpha test was another step in the right direction overall, but Against the Grain is in such a bad state that it was really hard to enjoy it. Out of the 3 alpha tests so far, this is the one I've played the least, which really goes to show that map design and balance is of the utmost importance, and I really hope that Fat Shark makes some significant changes to the map to make it better. And for their sake, I also hope they don't choose another wide open map to add to Versus mode.